What's going on? We back with the Boxing Clinic and more. Y'all know what it is. Your boy CJ Goodfella. Shout out to Fred from Barbershop Conversation. I'm going to link this Danny Jacobs press conference interview. And I found it very, very interesting, about the interview that I came upon. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook as well. Appreciate having you guys on YouTube. But, he says that the WBA just mandated him to be Golovkin's mandatory. Now, let me say this as a disclaimer. And shout out to Fanai International Boxing Channel. I got to catch up with my brother right there. Because he broke the news about Tank Davis jumping Albert Machado as, for the Super WBA champion, and them downgrading Machado to the regular WBA champion. And he supposed to be taking legal action against the WBA. That's a whole nother topic for another day or another video. But he broke that news. So let me say this as a disclaimer. The WBA be on some nut shit. So that is what it is right there. But let's talk some real trail boxing talk. For one, the Super WBA Championship belt, which we've done video on for all the new subscribers. We had a nice little boost in subscriber this whole year. We done a video on that, okay? And the Super WBA Championship has no mandatory. That's why you had a regular WBA Championship belt. Now, every once in a while, the WBA will order the regular WBA champion to fight the Super WBA champion. Like Danny Jacobs with Triple G, that happened. But every once in a while, they mandate that. But usually, the Super WBA Championship belt that Golovkin holds has no mandatory. It's designed for the WBA champion, Super WBA champion, to unify with other belts. So that's what it's designed for. So one, that's a whole end story right there. How can you be a mandatory to Super WBA belt? And at the end of the day, Ryota Murata, who's the regular WBA champion from Japan, who did like 15 or 19 million views in Japan on his last fight, was on ESPN 2 in the morning like a couple weeks ago, April 14th or 15th, I believe. I mean, how can you be the mandatory over the regular WBA title holder and jump to the Super WBA championship who doesn't have a mandatory? I'm not calling Danny Jacobs a liar because I know the WBA do some silly shit like that, but I don't understand it. If anything, he would be the mandatory to Ryota Murata's title, who's linked with Top Rank ESPN, the regular WBA championship that he held before, which is like basically a paper champion. It's not a real world championship. And I don't call him a world champion. He was not a world champion. He was a paper title holder, when he held the regular WBA. Same as Ryota Murata. I don't hold him as a world champion. The real champion is Gennady Golovkin. He holds the Super WBA championship belt. So I don't understand, okay, personally, I don't understand how can they mandate him for a title who doesn't have a mandatory, bylaws, other than every once in a while fighting a regular WBA championship. So, like the WBA been on some nut shit of late. I know Bob Barron was trying to make the Ryota Murata. I know I'm butchering his name. I don't give a fuck. I know he was trying to get Ryota Murata versus Golovkin in the fall. But obviously Golovkin and Triple G gonna do it again. We already know the hair follicle test from Canelo came back clean. A lot of the Hispanic community got mad at me because I don't believe that shit. I'm just not a gullible fool. I know it's ways to get around hair tests and it's ways to slide money, and they've been protecting Canelo, and Nevada's been protecting Canelo for a long time. I might do another video on it, but I'm not going to steal Danny Jacobs' thunder here. But at the end of the day, if he's mandated to be Triple G's mandatory, okay, he ain't going to fight Jamal Charlo next, brothers. I don't care if Jamal show up and go into the ring and this and that. You already said Danny Jacobs said I will allow him into the ring. He has to ask permission to get into the ring. Same thing that Anthony Joshua was saying about Deontay Wilder. He probably gonna have a whole bunch of fucking bodyguards and a quote unquote imaginary restraining order on Jamal Charlo in Brooklyn on Saturday night. And that's just the Eddie Hearn thing. He turns fighters into biz niches, in my opinion. But when you touching M's like Danny Jacobs, and that's all that matters. I mean, be happy with your M's. You're going to be sitting around waiting for a Golovkin title shot, which is imaginary to me, but the WBA been on some nut shit and making crazy shit happen lately. You waiting for that title shot when, you're going to be waiting. Golovkin and Canelo might do it one more time again after this time in September. So he ain't fighting Jamal Charlo, man. Now that the WBA said he going to get a shot at the Super Championship, and if that's factual, and I believe Danny Jacobs to be a truth teller, that means that he getting the opportunity that doesn't even come that often. So of course he gonna wait it out and wait for when Golovkin and Canelo done. Golovkin and Canelo said he wants to fight May 5th, September, and then he want to come back in December. So Danny Jacobs will be getting that fight in December. So I know they said, the WBC said that Charlo had to get the winner of Canelo and Triple G next. After the rematch in September, he got to be the one to get it next. Then he gonna have the WBA saying that, so he gonna have a little whatever. So he gonna have to drop whoever win the Canelo Triple G2 gonna have to drop one of them belts or make a side deal happen. But at the end of the day, he ain't gonna fight Charlo after this. Now he got a pipeline to the Canelo Triple G. He gonna just sit there and be comfortable. And that's what Eddie Hearn fighters do. So y'all know what it is. We gone.